Mr. Vantomme. Nice to see you here with us. You are one of the key voices in Europe when it comes to smart and sustainable mobility. As CEO of ERTICO, ITS Europe, you've been helping shape the future of transport by bringing together public and private partners. With the ITS Congress in Seville just around the corner, we are really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this year's event, ERTICO's work, and what's next for mobility. Let's start with the Congress. This year's edition is shaping up to be a landmark event. What would you say is its core message or mission?
Well, first of all, thank you, Elena, and thank you to your organization, Magazine, for having us here at ERTICO ITS Europe. It's a real pleasure and honor to present to you the Congress, what we have foreseen. First, the Congress is a yearly, I would say, festival of ITS. ITS is about intelligent transport systems. So we bring innovation and intelligence into the traditional transport and mobility system. It's about moving people, but also moving goods, so logistics and freight, and the whole technological angle of that. And every year we have European Congresses and a World Congress, and every 3 years we have a World Congress that we organize. The last one was in Dubai that we organized, and this one is now in Spain, in Seville, the beautiful city of Seville. A Congress is a typical getting together of the industry, together with policymakers, the public authorities side, at European level, at national, regional and local level, but also the academics. So we bring the universities, the latest thought leadership, the latest insight on transport and mobility. We bring them all together, a nice, I would say, cocktail mix, literally a mix of people and talents to discuss the latest evolutions, but also to showcase something. A Congress is typically a combination of different things we'd like to cook in the kitchen, different meals. It's an exhibition where you see stands and more than 100 exhibitors with live demonstrations where you can look and feel and touch what it is. For example, an autonomous car or bus or a drone or a shuttle or whatever new evolution. It's also an opportunity to meet and greet your colleagues in the various sessions. We have more than 100, we call them special interest sessions, academic sessions and policy sessions. And there we have public and private people coming together on different topics. All this has been carefully selected by a European Programme Committee that we have the leadership on, with professors, with the European Commission involved as well, to select the right topics for every year. This year is definitely an important one. We just have the new European Commission since last December for 5 years. So I would say a new impetus for transport and mobility and tourism as well. We'll have quite some people from the Commission, including commissioners coming over, ministers as well, and regional and local people. And we will highlight a couple of new things this year, such as, I would say, connected and automated driving, not the usual thing, but now how far are we? What is implemented in the country? It's the deployment of connectivity and automated driving. The second thing we're going to showcase is data, AI, these new technologies, how could they revolutionize the transport and mobility system, and how to move people in a smarter way than in the past. The same for the goods and logistics. Another focus we're going to put, and also something that the European Commission is putting on, is equity, accessibility, affordability, but also the user skills. So we have a very technological savvy environment, but you need the right people for that, the right education. So the STEM education, as we say. So we want to attract that to our ecosystem. So it's more about the societal aspects, skills, knowledge, but also explainability of all these sometimes difficult technologies to know. And last is something that is very actual, I would say, also in Spain, is resilience, physical resilience. So nature disasters, unfortunately, but also digital resilience in this complicated world in which we live now. So it's all about hybrid and about cyber resilience. So all this is important for the transport system because it's about moving people and moving goods from your bike to your train, to your car, to the bus, and all these other things that can be fully automated and fully connected. So something we're going to showcase tangibly for everybody. It's a big thing. It's from 19th to the 21st of May. So from the Monday morning until the Wednesday evening, with a lot of also side events and good opportunities for networking.
What makes it such a fitting host city for the 2021 Congress?
Well, we've selected Seville for a number of reasons. We selected Seville 3 years ago, actually, in a competitive European competitive bidding. They are actually a leading example for sustainable urban mobility transformation. It's a very nice city, as you will see, and a lot has been invested for the soft mobility. We call it the active mobility. So it's not only about cars and traffic lights and roads. It's definitely about low emission zones, how to move goods, but also people from point A to point B in a less emitting environment and less carbon, more carbon-free environment. There have been a lot of investments for electric transport, so electric buses, electric trams, public transport, but also bikes. A lot of e-bikes you will see there. They also have a great conference center. It's called the FIBES, organized by Contursa, the tourism office, that is really modern and really well located. And in terms of, I would say, projects, you will see they have the city, it's called E-City Sevilla project in the Cartuja district. It's actually a model for low emission area where they equip, I would say, the whole area with extended electric vehicle infrastructure, so EV charging, with real-time energy monitoring, that you can see really how much energy you spent, where is the energy storage, and how can I take new energy. And also combination with ITS, so with what we do with data sharing. That project also integrates the previous, I would say, cooling techniques with modern technology. So the modern cooling way, I would say, because it can be hot there. It's the south of Spain, lovely, lovely weather for those who like the summer weather already in May. And we see some new approaches to urban resilience. You will see cycling infrastructure. It's a massive 180 kilometers of protected bike lanes. So it's quite impressive. Those who like to bike will have their possibility to do that there. And you will see also a very modern app that integrates the transport modes. So that brings you from point A to point B in a seamless way with one ticket. So I look forward to seeing you all there in Seville.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Very interesting answer and very impressive, I would say, about Seville. And finally, still on the Congress, you talked about some new technologies. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, well, you will see a couple of new technologies for automated driving, up to autonomous driving, how it works, how it really in practice, not only with vehicles, with cars, but also with shuttles and trucks. We even also have automated buses approach as well. We will also showcase how AI is really working. And it's not the usual things that you know from internet, but it's really those who work with traffic management. Can you imagine a city where you go from point A to point B and where actually AI will help you? It will not dictate you, but it will help you to go from point A to point B in a seamless way with one ticket, one payment, but also without any traffic jam. That would be ideal. Well, reality is there in Seville. I haven't seen many traffic jams, to be honest. So that is good news. So we will showcase that technology as well and how to work with these new tools. What you also will see is new areas in terms of sustainability. We talk about CO2 neutrality. Well, Seville is one of these European mission cities that have been dedicated and have been selected by the European Commission and the board to be carbon-free, neutral in 2030, which is after tomorrow. If you want to be ready in 5 years, you better start yesterday. And that's what they did, Seville. So they're really on the front. Some other countries have it, some other cities in Spain as well. But I'm really happy to be there in the south of Spain. So you will also see what does that mean in practice, the readiness of a city. You will see interventions from the Minister of Interior Affairs, also the Director General of the Ministry of Transport. We'll have European commissioners and then dedicated people of the units, which will, well, with whom you can be in contact. And they will also talk about data, which is the new, I won't say oil, but the new reality. It's about data spaces. How do that work? How does it work in practice? We also will showcase new technologies on certification and authentication of messages. So that's more the digital, I would say, identification. Every vehicle needs to be identified, every user in the transport. And that means that you will have new technologies to do that. So yeah, quite revolutionary new things. A couple of drones we're going to showcase as well in our new platform. We have organized a new platform in ERTICO on drones, on ITS for the drone sector, for the urban air mobility. So all that will also be showcased.
ERTICO is known for bringing together many players, public, private, and academic. How does this multi-stakeholder model boost real innovation in smart mobility?
That's a very good question, Elena. I will try to answer that. So we are indeed, well, we are an old thing. We are from 1991, so more than 30 years, with the focus on innovation. So the European Commission has actually brought together industry leaders at that time and public authorities, and they said, well, maybe we should do things together instead of alone. And that's exactly what we did since 30 years now. We do that with 8 different sectors that we bring together in our partnership. The sectors, I'll give you a couple of examples. It's, of course, the public sector, that's the public authorities. These can be ministries or even cities, regions, but also authorities such as regulators. That's one part. The other side is then the private industry, those who produce vehicles, those who supply to vehicle industry, but also those who provide the traffic elements, the traffic management systems, and many, many other things, such as the mapping business. So those who provide the navigation maps for you as a driver in the car. But next to that, there's a whole scala of research organizations, universities, private research organizations, public ones. There is the service providers, there can be map providers, but also going to IT companies. That really broad scala of kind of organizations. We also have the electromobility users, those who use the electrification of the mobility ecosystem, and a quite complex system as well. So they are also part of our ecosystem. So all in all, we are there as a public-private partnership. So I'm not a private company. I don't make any profit. It's a not-for-profit association, but I'm not a public government neither. So I'm actually a good, I would say, mixture of both of them, with always the European Commission involved, the various directorate generals, and also good contacts with European institutions such as the Parliament and the Council of Ministers. So that's the focus is bringing these people together, participating in making it happen in life in all the countries. That's through European funding. So we go for European funds for research and innovation, but actually also for more and more tangible deployment. And that is something we are quite successful in since 30 years now. We have more than 50 projects that we run, quite, I would say, impacting projects, going from logistics to people, but also data, for example. That is another thing we do. We organize thought leadership sessions. We bring these people together to discuss about the new topics, but also about things that are going maybe less good or less quick as we want. So we identify the pain points. We also provide to the European Commission mostly some inspiration for new legislation or new policies and new strategies. And this can be in the field of transport and mobility, data, AI, for example. And finally, we're organizing a lot of events and congresses like this one now in Seville. And the next one will be in Istanbul next year.
Your interesting answer. And can you give an example of how ERTICO helped move an idea from research to real world use recently?
Yes, we have a number of things that we start indeed from the research. A long time ago, there was the need for having vehicles being equipped with something that makes the public authorities aware that there is an accident. So easier to say than to do, of course, easier said than done. So we invented actually with our membership the eCall system, which is ECALL, eCall, electronic eCall, or emergency eCall, sorry. Basically, it is a system that allows in every vehicle that when you have an accident, when you have a crash, that this vehicle will emit automatically, without you, automatically signals to the 112 service. The 112 is the emergency service in each country. This can be an ambulance or a police or other fire brigade, for example, and that's done automatically. Now, again, easier said than done. We did this in a couple of years as an innovation trajectory, and actually it landed in European legislation. So every vehicle is equipped, mandatory equipped with this, passenger cars and vans. And the second thing we did is in terms of automated driving, we've developed with the European Commission's funding a couple of corridors, so cross-border corridors between Spain and Portugal, between it was Greece and Turkey and many others, where we have tested automated driving and autonomous driving. So how does it work in practice? What can go wrong and what does not go wrong, and what to do in terms of legislation. For example, readability of traffic signs is important for an automated car because it's a robot actually interpreting something from the outside, and well, that interpretation should be right. The same we did also for example, for the goods delivery, where we have a lot of business in e-commerce. Of course, you order something, you get it the day after or later or sooner at your house or your company. But that's a whole, I would say, a whole value chain that is working for you without you realizing it. Going from the factory until the last mile delivery, maybe with a cargo bike. So that trajectory from point A to point B and C at the end, we measured also the, I would say, the CO2 emission. So how decarbonized or how carbonized is this whole route. And we have invented for that a methodology with our members, and this led to an international standard that everybody is using now in the logistics industry. It's a standard at the level of ISO, so International Standardization Organization. And I can go on and on. Something that we are very proud of is the innovation platforms. What we do is see where a new technology starts to be emerging, and we start a platform with private and public members of ERTICO and beyond. A recent example is the platform for drones. So people have always ideas when you talk about drones, but drones are being used for the movement of goods, movement for logistics, pharmaceuticals, for example, delivery in very far away areas that you cannot drive, for example, or for inspection of tunnels or buildings, but also for movement of people. I can tell you, we got our World Congress last year in October in Dubai. And actually today you can already take a vertiport, which is a drone airport, in the street, on the beach in Dubai, and actually move yourself with the drone. So that is now an experimentation phase and will be commercialized. But there's a lot of, I would say, research to do with that, a lot of legislation as well, and a lot of, I would say, import of knowledge that we have from the road sector to the air, would say, sector, urban mobility sector in the air. And we have these platforms for all kinds of things, for data sharing for road safety, automated valet parking, for example, a self-parking car without you in the car. So that is something we trial, we test with the parking industry, with the European Parking Association members. So you see all these new things. We want to trial and error maybe a bit, but at least trial and be the entrepreneurship for that in Europe, and then transforming this to tangible commercialization business where we step out. Of course, that's not we're not a company. So we try to innovate. That's what we do.
Impressive. What about ERTICO's international outlook? You told a little about it, but I'd like to know how do you balance the European focus with growing global cooperation in your company?
That's a very good question. Of course, nothing is local anymore. The whole value chain is interconnected, is worldwide actually. So even in these times where we see a lot of geo-industrial and geopolitical moves, we have an excellent cooperation with our organizations in the United States, or I would say the Americas. So North America, Latin America as well, and Canada. That's through ITS America. That's our sister organization, I would say, and we have a similar one in Asia Pacific. Yeah, so going from the north to the roll deep south, North New Zealand in Asia Pacific. So with the three organizations, so ERTICO, ITS Europe, then we have ITS America and ITS Asia Pacific. We have a well-oiled cooperation, well-glued cooperation. We organize world congresses together. That's one form of interconnectedness, I would say. The second is that we have quite a lot of cooperations worldwide with organizations such as the UNEC, so the United Nations. We are embedded into the International Transport Forum, with the Thought Leadership Exchange. That's the OECD. Then we have a lot of interactions with the Transport Research Board in the United States. So transportation research is the whole community doing research, but also applied science in transport and mobility. And we have similar, I would say, developments now with South Korea, quite a lot of activities, and they will organize the World Congress next year in Gwangnam. So you see, we are connected, and our members are having connectivities a bit everywhere. We are European based with a range to EMEA, European, Middle East and Africa, but focusing mostly on that area, but does not mean that we have an exclusivity there. So since everything is interconnected.
Thank you for.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What personally drew you into the world of smart mobility?
Well, basically, I started my career as a lawyer 34 years ago, 35 years. Yeah, I don't know. I'm young, very young. I was always fascinated by innovation and the new things. When it gets boring, then I'm really bored. So I always want to have new initiatives and do things differently and in a dynamic way, energizing way. And that's what I did as a lawyer in the beginning. So I had chosen for telecommunications and IT sector. So that's a long time ago, when that sector got liberalized and privatized, etc. And then I went to the logistics postal industry. That's about commerce, e-commerce, movement of goods. And afterwards, I then always was fascinated by the European area. So as of the moment I was born, I was really believing in Europe, in the single market. And we have it now 30 years already in a calm and peaceful way. And let's hope that stays the same for the future. And that really put my attention that we said we should do things together much more than all in silos. And that brought me to my personal motto of connectivity. I want really to connect people, connect the dots, as we say in ERTICO, connecting all and doing things together. I believe in 1 + 1, and that's not 2 but 3 for me. And it really drives me. And if you ask me why did I choose smart mobility, because in my life the mobility is actually putting really, I mean, something concrete, tangible. It's not only about cloud and data business, but it's physical things also. And it brings together all my best knowledge of the past experience, the legal, the economic experience, the management experience, the different sectors I've been working in, including automotive for quite some time. So the digital and physical component I worked. So yeah, that brings me all together here in a wonderful environment with my team of ERTICO ITS Europe here in Brussels.
Oh, nice, very impressive. And finally, looking ahead, if we fast forward to 10 years, for example, what would success look like for you, for ERTICO and for European mobility as a whole?
From 10 years from now here, I think, well, first for the mobility area, it should be stepping out of each other's silos. We have a lot of silos. We have the public transport, private transport systems. We have the data players, the telecom players, the energy sector. It's all interconnected, but they all work still a bit in their own backyard. And that is something we are working very hard on. For example, electric charging today, it's all about different charging stations, not always available. You don't know if it will be available, if there will be enough throughput on electricity. That will be solved, of course, in 10 years now. An app will bring you seamlessly to that and actually pay already for you. The same for telecommunications. If you go from one country to another, you have to change from your network, your mobile network, 5G. Sometimes it takes even up to a minute to find the network. That should not be realistic anymore in the future when you have connected and automated driving. So a car will drive you from point A to point B, or a robot taxi will do that. And if you change from one country to another, or one mobile operator to another, well, you don't expect interruptions. I also would love to have no cyber security problems and network infrastructure, critical infrastructure problems. We got, for example, the recent outage in Spain, actually this week, the electricity, the whole country without electricity. That is not unimaginable. I mean, in the future, when everything will be connected and automated, you will have air mobility in 10 years from now. So with drones, with vertiports, definitely you will have a full seamless mobility with one app or multiple apps, but at least bringing you from point A to point B. The rail should be integrated in Europe, that I can take a train ticket from one country to another without any hassle. And that's only the start. I mean, I see a lot of good future. And also transport poverty where we have people not being able to reach a destination because they live far away in the outskirts, in the landscape, in the province. That should not be a problem in the future, because automated buses, shuttles, instruments, let me put it that way, automated instruments can bring these people from point A to point B, whatever disabled they are or in good health. That's not a problem. Transport will be resilient for them and giving them hope and a future.
Thanks a lot.